I am doing Anne Livingston's challenge to create a 10-piece gallery basically, and I love the idea of this, and I had been thinking about it before she even mentioned it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on board. And I'm I don't even know all of the details of how she's doing it, but I'm just kind of trying to do it my own way. I think they're planning to have it all come together in April. So, kind of funny that I'm like towards the end of March and just now getting the pieces together and done. So I painted one this morning, which I will show you. And I realized also that I'm probably not going to use this frame. I really like this one that I bought at a thrift store for $3. And this one was from Dollar Tree for $1.25 though. So I'm gonna see if I can put that in this frame. And if you haven't seen my other live videos, I'm trying to do once a month where I dedicate some time to working on my art in some way. So some of the other ones I was actually painting during the video, and encouraging you to also paint, but you could also just do some planning to help you get started and paint later, kind of set you up for that. You could work on organizing or decluttering your supplies, like whatever. Let us know in the comments what you are actually working on. And let's see. I can show you this painting in particular, but kind of what I've done for this challenge and gallery setup is I started writing the stories that I wanted to share because it just seemed so jumbled otherwise and kind of mismatched. I guess really the first step was that I started collecting frames. And so now I have a lot of them. And I believe just bought all of the same size frame, and everything was the same to make it more uniform and cohesive. But I really think the stories are what's gonna bring it together for me. So I'm gonna have all different sorts of frames because I like to thrift them. So it'd be kind of hard to find frames that are exactly alike or even that similar. But I realized once I started writing out a few stories that I wanted to do pictures of, paintings of, that a lot of them were about unexpected joys in my life. And so I kind of ran with that. And after I got a few stories written, then I was like, okay, I'm going to intentionally think of things that were an unexpected joy in my life. And then I'll just paint a picture based on that. So I kind of did it both ways, where first I thought of the painting that I wanted to do of a beautiful place that I loved. And then I realized that it was about unexpected joy. And then I decided on a different painting for that. So here are a couple that I'm going to do. I'll show you. I did these in my sketchbook first. So this one is the Avenue of Oaks in South Carolina, near the coast. And my aunt took me there, and it just has some memories associated with it because I love a tunnel of trees. And my other aunt also lives in South Carolina, and we would always go through this beautiful tunnel of oak trees on the way to her house in my childhood. And so I thought that was really cool. This one has some Spanish moss, and it's a dirt road, whereas hers was paved. But it always let me know we were getting close to her house. So I think it's really helping me to have a story behind each picture, because I did go to a gallery, one of my favorite artists, and I'll do a little short video on that trip. Emily Winslow art, who used to be Watercolor with Emily. So I've mentioned her before. But I got to see her art in person, which was so different instead of on a tiny little screen. So that was great. I didn't purchase any because we were flying, so hopefully I can get one from her later. But I realized I was reading, the title and what each piece was painted on or whatever. Anyway, and so I realized I could just stand in there and browse for so long. And also, I imagined someone else doing that if it were my gallery. And I thought that having something else for them to read about the painting would be a nice thing for them. So, you know, if they want to just do surface level and just look at the picture, the painting, that's fine. But if they want to go a little deeper and see why this is included, then they can do that. And that's why I came up with the theme of unexpected joy and sadness. So I realized some of them are about some. I thought about doing like two separate galleries, one about joy, one about sadness, and then I was like, oh, but then sadness, I don't know. Like, would anyone want to come to that? But I think I'm going to combine them to get up to 10 paintings. So I'll talk about this other one that I have here today, and I'm going to be trying to see how it is in a different frame. Oh, oh man, I don't have my other draft of it, but I did one draft that was like really wild, but this was my first draft, and this is a location at the beach that has a mailbox and a little bench there. And we had been going to this beach for decades. And then we went in the gift shop and saw a book that had a mailbox on it at the beach. And we mentioned it to the clerk in the store, and she was like, oh yeah, that's a real place. It's right, like you have to walk a few miles to get to it. And so I don't know if you know this about me, but I love mail. I love handwritten letters. And like my grandma used to write to me, and I remember the smell of the gardenias by the mailbox when I was growing up, and she wrote to me like I was a grown up and would ask me about my day and tell me all about her and grandpa. So I was obsessed with this, and ever since then I have gone back every time, and they have journals in the mailbox, and you can write in them, and you can also read what other people have written. And they keep an archive of all of them. And it's like you don't know who runs it and keeps it going and checks it all the time and keeps it stocked with new notebooks and everything. Oh, it's so cute. One time I saw people who had just gotten engaged there. I saw them on their walk back. So, anyway, just a very special place. And so, oh, I kind of want to grab my other picture, but maybe I'll show it a different time. But I was trying to like practice clouds and did like pinks and purples, and it didn't really go that well, and it looked, I don't know, busy and harsh and not the way my reference photo was, because I used some pictures that I had taken while I was there. And this one was just more peaceful. So I did it. I did this one again. And I don't normally paint things 3 times. I did actually do a sketch of this one in pencil first, though, because I realized that I didn't love the placement of some of the stuff in the other one either. So, you know what? I'm just going to go get it so that I can show this. I'll just take you with me here. And that way you can see what I'm talking about. And let's see. Oh, so I was going to give an update as well. We are moving, and oh, here it is. Okay, so we are moving to Indiana, and very excited about that. And so we went the other week to look at houses. And if you have bought a house since 2020 or 2021, wow, you know the craziness, I think. So I think we're going to end up renting, and we're just now getting that kind of finalized. And, whoop, sorry. And I'm so excited about it. Whoa, goodness, my tripod. Sorry for the loud noises and craziness, but we are getting that in place, and I have been sleeping so much better just knowing we have a place to live. So hopefully the lease goes through and everything is fine. But let me show you. So this is more like just a calm, peaceful, maybe a little overcast day. But then this one was like a sunny day because of like the shadows. But then the clouds were more like it was sunset. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. And I was just trying someone else's techniques and stuff. So doing it again was really helpful. Um, and it allowed me to make some changes. I didn't love that the mailbox was in the center of the picture. I wanted it more off to the side. So I will let you compare. I was just like, oh no, I'm not gonna like this. So if that happens to you, then, you know, it's okay to try again. I kind of didn't want to. I was scared. I was like, are they just gonna keep getting worse and worse? Because I liked my little initial sketch, but I just kind of went back to the colors I had used there and everything, and that helped a lot. So I had a lot of fun with the third one, and I was really scared I would not. Okay, so are you doing the Anne Livingston challenge and creating a gallery? I would love to hear about that in the comments too, and how it's going for you, or if you're just doing something similar. I also spoke to the gallery owner at the place that I went to see the other artist, and he was the owner, and there weren't a lot of people there at that time of day that I went. I went like right when they opened at 1 or something. And so let me also just show like a comparison. Like, it's so funny looking. Oh, this is how I had it before. Anyway, he had some good tips that I thought. He was like, okay, first you need a website or something so we can view your work to see if it's good enough to be in a gallery, which I knew that, and I also knew that mine is, like, I don't have this curated collection yet ready for that. So I knew that was something I needed to work on. But then after talking a little longer, he was mentioning that he thinks watercolor, what are they called? This is the problem with going live. I can't edit all this thinking out. Anyway, a canvas, a watercolor canvas. He thinks that's the future of watercolor, which I can understand because he owns a gallery. So it is good for galleries because there's not the shine of the glass and everything. Although I'm just like, okay, I'll just take the glass out of the frame. I don't have to have that in. But I did want to show kind of where it's like double framed. That's interesting, but I probably won't do that. But I am going to start trying the canvases more. I've done one and I have another one purchased. I gotta decide which one I'm gonna paint on that, and I will probably use it as one of my gallery like paintings. So anyway, I am just doing these for an online gallery so people can browse wherever you're from. You can see it on my website and read the stories that go along with them, because I do have an English degree, and I think that's part of my strength is writing and stories. So especially true stories, that was my thing that I was the best at with creative writing and everything. So just, you know, kind of play to your strengths. And what is it? I mean, that's what people say about writing, like write what you know. And so I'm kind of applying that to painting, like paint what you know. So these are some places I've been, and not everyone is painting those things. So I'm also gonna try to do one of a person that I met, so that kind of thing. Hello, thank you for joining. Hopefully the replay will be ready for you soon, but I'm working on my gallery, so I'm trying to put my picture in here right now. And, oh, there is a, okay, so I could probably cut this to be the mat for this picture. And yeah, let us know what stage you're in of your gallery and everything. Let me get this situated and I will show you. And then I think that might be everything for today, but I just wanted to keep my promise of doing this live video every month to help all of us to actually take the time to work on our art, because a lot of times it's easier for me to just watch someone's video and not actually paint. And so I was like, okay, I need to do a video, but also it's still gonna take a long time to edit and everything. So I like to sometimes just do a video where I'm working on stuff instead of only, what am I saying now? Okay. I guess it's hard to focus on working on stuff and talking and making a video at the same time. Okay. Let me know which frame you like best. I feel like I'm having a hard time getting it centered, but I think that still will give you an idea of how it will look. I'll show you in just a moment. But thank you so much for watching and for working on your art. I would love to hear what you're working on. I think I've said that enough. Okay. Just gotta close the backs of these. And that is really painful. Why? I do not like frames sometimes. I feel like, okay, there we go. Whew. Let's see. Oh no, now I'm breaking the frame, so that's not great. This is what happens when you thrift, I guess. Okay, but I think that still shows you enough, but I still would want to actually, yeah, I don't know if I like the glass either. But if I just cut the mat and then put the picture behind the mat, that'll hold it in place and I can remove the glass, which may be what I do. I don't know. What do you think? Interesting. Okay. Well, I will be back with some of the other videos I have mentioned and a little more thought out, but thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have an amazing one.